Well, the game went kind of two ways, but both teams played extremely hard for 40 minutes. That never went away. And we knew they weren't going to go away in the second half. And the thing is, we continued to play extremely hard in the second half after getting off to a great lead. We didn't always play as efficient as we needed to. We weren't always on the attack the way that we needed to be. But you out-rebound a team like Minnesota in the way that they're rebounding. You continue to go hard. You continue to answer when they have an answer for what you're doing, and it's a big win. And the difference now is a year ago, we'd have been ecstatic with that victory. And I want them to enjoy it. But we have different expectation levels now. And it's not the outside expectations. It's not. It's the expectations level inside of where we need to be. And we have a lot of room for improvement. I think that's why the term, I said this to Don after the game on the radio show, sounds like the most corny, cliche-ish word you can have when you start talking about process, but that's what it is. That's why people use it. That's why they use it in business, they use it in school, they use it in coaching. I mean, it is. It's a process. And we've got to continue to learn from that. Where it takes the next step is when the players understand that they can play better. And I think they do, when it understands that they can be more efficient. But the one thing we are doing is we are playing extremely hard and competitive. And another game in the mid-50s with deflections and battling on the glass. And we can get a lot better. And I know Minnesota will, because they're obviously every bit as good as we thought they were, and as the nation thought they were, and as their other opponents thought they were. So it was a very good victory, and one we appreciate and we earned, but at the same time, there's no question that with the long season that it is, we've got to get a lot better.
Tom, can you trace Yogi's development from the time he came onto campus to where he is right now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is maybe we knew he was extremely well coached. There was obviously no doubt about that, and just a huge winner. And I think the biggest thing is his defense, because he played so much zone in high school, and they were very good at it. And that's why you rarely have to remind him of anything when we're playing zone. A couple times today. But his on-ball defense, his ability to attack, those things have really transferred to the collegiate level. Speed of the game has never been an issue for him. And now he's getting more and more confidence inside that speed of the game, and it makes him that much better. But I think he's going to get nothing but better. I mean, his jumper is going to get more consistent. He's got great vision. But his biggest steps are like any young player. I mean, there's got to be more vocal leadership, because he leads. He leads by example, and he leads with his defense, and he's a great teammate, but he's got to get more verbal, and that's the next step for him.
Terry.
Coach struggled against the press in the second half. What jumped out at you there?
We didn't attack it correctly. I mean, we just didn't. We didn't. We got caught up a little bit in getting it down the court rather than how we were going to get it down the court. So they were aggressive, but we knew that. We practiced for that. I just think we didn't do a great job with our spacing. We didn't do a great job with the inbounds. And I'll blame myself for not having enough screening, because they were very, very physical. And a couple times it was hard to get open. And we may need to put a few more screening options in our zone like we did later in the game.
Mike?
Tom, what you were talking about before with Yogi and being more vocal. The last time I was here, you guys offensively, the ball did not move like it did today. Of course, you're 6 weeks further along, but it seems like you guys are building a greater sense of trust. Can you sort of explain how that comes about?
Well, I think there's balance for a reason. Our guys aren't dominating the Big Ten Player of the Week, Big Ten Freshman of the Week mantles, because it's rare that it's going to be one guy with major points. I mean, we've got a lot of balanced scoring. Today was another day like that. And I think they're really understanding two things, that everybody's going to score the more points we score, but it doesn't happen if we don't defend and score off of our defense, and it doesn't happen if we don't rebound. And so when you've got those things going, and like I say to them all the time, when you're working as hard as you're working on defense, you're rarely going to come down and take a bad shot or force something when you've got the teammates that are working that hard with you defensively. And I think we're a good example of that now. I think the ball really moves. Well, Yogi's got a lot to do with that. Jordan does. Cody. There might be somebody that's as good at passing the ball from the forward, big player position, but there's nobody better that I've seen, and I haven't seen everybody, but he's tremendous at that. And a key for us is our reversals. Those guys are buying into the percentages of what happens when we reverse it twice, when we reverse it 3 times, and those numbers don't lie.
It's part of that process that you talked about earlier, just getting this team to recognize the difference between being aggressive and attacking and also not playing too frantic when they have a lead.
Yeah, we made some uncharacteristic mistakes in the second half. It's a good question. I think there's a lot of room for improvement in our transition defense, though it got to be better. The biggest thing you want to have in a game is you want to win the game and you want to know that you improved in it. Well, we competed and played really hard for 40 minutes, so that was really good. But we didn't always play as smart and efficient as we needed to play, and we didn't take things head on the way that we needed to a couple times, and we didn't step up to the foul line and shoot the ball with the normal percentages that we do. So some of those things fell, but I'm telling you now, a year ago, if you're not making shots and you're having some turnovers, you might come back down and not win the game. And our guys we made some mistakes defensively, but we never stopped playing hard defensively. And there weren't any flybys and blowbys. But I mean, we can get a lot smarter on defense. That's good news too. Did they hire a coach yet? The Bears?
No.
Okay.
Yep. I know you said you thought you guys played with a lot of energy in the second half, even though things didn't always go quite as well. What do you feel like were the big keys that you guys didn't quite execute on in the second half?
I got to watch the film, but I think the bottom line is we didn't get the ball reversal probably that we needed. We didn't attack the press and get the easy baskets that they should have gave us. Probably a little bit there. That would be bigger things. But I'll have to watch the film to really get that. I do think that the fact that we kept moving, we kept talking, those things were good. But you got to have a group of 5 guys on the court that are just so intertwined. We weren't as effective our screening game and things like that. I think judging coming out of a timeout and we don't set a great screen on the side out of bounds and Andre Hollins takes it and goes down the court. They're really good. And we didn't always match the physicality on the offensive end the way that we needed to. A little too physical sometimes on defense, especially with the shots that we fouled on.
You mentioned just defense and rebounding. Basically, you went to a lot of zone today. Basically, what made you decide to do that? What worked in that, and what did you like about just the rebounding in general?
We game plan every game differently, for certain aspects of the game, and there were certain things that we wanted to zone. Certain times we were going to be zoned. Certain times we played straight up man to man. The communication on that was pretty good, and they were patient. They ran the break. They did an excellent job of really trying to work and get what they wanted. And we exerted a lot of energy, in the game, getting back. Every once in a while, they broke us down a little bit. But I like our zone because we wanted to rebound out of it. A couple times they got the high-low game on us. That was a concern going in. We didn't pinch off the sides as much. So again, we're a little bit better when we're making sure that we're switching defenses some and keeping, trying to keep the game off balance a little bit.
Alex?
Can you talk about Christian's play, I guess, defensively and also his rebounding? It seemed like he was more aggressive today.
Oh, he battled. I mean, there were a couple times that he and Trevor locked up, and it was good. And the officiating let it happen, which was really good. I mean, they let him play. And Christian's he's tough. He's got an excellent spirit. He's working when he plays well. It's always like hunt offense. Don't search for it. Sometimes when you're searching, you make your mind up. When you're hunting and you're looking, hey, can I attack here? And can I get this guy open? And what's here? He plays really well. And that's what he did. But he did an excellent job defensively. And I thought his talk was really good. He's had a great week. He was really good on Monday night at Penn State. And he's just continuing to get better. No question. Bob?
Yeah, is it more difficult for a point guard to make the transition to college than it is any other position, just given the leadership role?
I don't think there's any question. I don't think there's any question, especially when we're playing ours 37 minutes tonight, which was too many. But it's this when you know you're extremely valuable. I mean, like, we didn't want to take him off the floor. And we did not have a great bench day. And That's part of it. There's going to be days that it's like that, but some of that was Yogi was so good. Remy hadn't practiced until yesterday all week because of he just got banged up a little bit in the Penn State game, so he missed. He probably didn't have his normal confidence level that he would have in a game like this today. So we needed that much more out of Yogi, and then we had to play time and score so many times with Jordan today because of the foul situation. But Yogi to me was playing as hard at the end as he was at the beginning, and he was playing extremely hard and moving the ball at a great rate at the beginning. So really proud of how he's developing.
Jordy obviously misses 3 straight free throws and goes and gets the rebound on the last one. How much was that just kind of sheer force of anger?
That's just when you're living right. You know, when you miss free throws like that and you get your own rebound when you're an 80-some-odd% free throw shooter like him. So I think he needs a haircut, though. Great Clips must have been closed wherever he goes last night. He may have to have that cut by the Wisconsin game. He was carrying too much weight in that hair.
How much did his aggression in the first half as well? Obviously taking some deep threes when he was getting covered really hard.
Oh, I think that was important because they obviously made their mind up. They were going to try to take him out of the game with size. You know, when you put Austin Hollins on him, who's a very good defender. And, I mean, they've got numerous guys that are going to play at the next level. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And he's one of them. But he got up into him, and so that's where our screening got better as the first half went on. But that's where he's just got to look at it and say, hey, I've got to have confidence to take this. What I liked is he missed a shot that he was falling away on, that he backed it right up with a 3 that was probably even a little bit deeper. We need that from him. And he's got that green light, and that's a decision of one. I mean, I don't go running around the room saying it's okay if Jordan shoots this. You know, I mean, we need him to do that, and he does.
You shoot almost 66% in the first half and score 52 on them, and they haven't given up more than 43.5 all year. What were you most impressed with in the way you played the first half?
The relentlessness. We just kept going. We didn't let them get their transition game going. We kept the game moving. We wanted the offense to keep moving, a lot of movement, multiple screen and rolls, things like that. So I think that was really important, but we just stayed on the attack. And Yogi did a great job. There was probably one possession where he let the defense dictate what the offense was going to be. You know, when they jump zone, and we want him to just play through that. You know, there's always a vulnerable spot when a team is pressing and they're getting back to a zone, okay? And right when you get across half court and are they in the trap or are they zoning, that's when you want to stay on your attack the best. And he's really getting better at that. That'd be an area too, Bob, that he's made recognition of defenses is where he's made a lot of strides for being a young college player. But there was one time he backed it out and he ran a set and it allowed him to set their defense up. For the most part, he didn't do that. We stayed on the attack.
Coach, just to get back to Jordan for a minute, every time he hits a 3, it seems that Assembly Hall it comes alive. How important is that for your team, and how much do they feed off that energy that comes when he's firing early?
Well, I think it's self-explanatory. I think you summed it up. I mean, everybody's energized by it. And he's one of those guys that you really don't think he's going to miss, but you get really excited when he does make it. So, I mean, I just think that's what he does. I mean, he brings that, and I love it. You know, and I think it's the same way when Cody's out on the break. I think it's the same way when Victor's driving the ball. You know, there's guys that have certain things that just bring people out of their seats and their teammates as well. And I'd say it brings me out of my seat, but I never really take one. So I would say when we have really good defensive possessions and we string 3 stops in a row together, that's when as a coaching staff, we're most excited.
Mike, last question.
You mentioned process earlier. Mm-hmm. Other than the obvious wins and losses, what do you have to see? What do you want to see on a daily basis to understand the process is going where you want it to go? And does having number 1 or not having number 1 spot and all the stuff that goes with it affect how that process?
No, I don't think it affects it. I think you want to learn from every game. We learned a lot from the Butler game. We'll learn a lot from this, just like we learn things from games where we're winning by 25 and 30. I mean, I think the thing is I don't ever worry about this team being excited to work on their game. We got some guys that are 365-day-a-year guys. I mean, there might have been 1 or 2 guys that weren't in there on Wednesday, and we took a day off. I mean, they're just here. So I don't ever worry about that with them. I think it's the thing to me, we've got to be a consistent rebounding team. That's got to continue to go up. We've got to be a consistent transition defense team. And I think we've got to figure out when we can really put teams away. And then we got to stop the momentum a little bit, you know, like when they got it going a little bit today. We never stopped playing out. Well, now it's got to be more than that. Now it's got to be really understanding, okay, let's go get it here. Like we got in the bonus at the 12:07 mark. And we shot a lot of free throws, but now that's the point where when you get in the bonus at the 12-minute mark, I mean, the game changes for you. I mean, so it's got to be drive. It's got to be post up. It can't be settled for jump shots. There can be driving kicks and things like that. I think that's part of the process, really understanding, because we got a lot of guys that can score, a lot of guys that can play offense, getting better all the time as a defensive team. Let's understand what really puts the team away. And I don't think we did that great today. And again, don't want to take the speed of the game away, don't want to take the quick pace of the game away. But then there's times you got to realize, hey, we really need this. It needs to go here right now. So we've got that much better of an opportunity to get to the foul line. So that's decision making. So I think those things have to really go up. But I don't think they feel, I haven't seen a change in them. They were disappointed when we lost to Butler. They came right back to work and got better. They had a film session themselves the next day. And I read all the notes, all right, which was with no coaches in there, which was really on point, really on target. And then they went and did something about it, you know, on the court. I mean, we're maturing, but we can get better with it, the decision making for sure.
Thanks, John.